Welcome to Saints Now. I am Will Scott. We joined shortly by producer Trace Gerard. And on today's show, at least the first bit of it, we're going to be talking about Dennis Allen and kind of how he's gone back and forth. It's been frustrating, Trace, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I wanted
There's
to start
no
off.
Clarity. No clarity.
No, zero clarity, zero communication, zero transparency. And I understand in football there is that aspect that you want to let coaches and let the staff and let the team have information, withheld from other teams like injury and stuff. I understand that. There is all of that. But can we get consistency and can we get answers? Can we get, the same information over and over again? Because this about a month ago from Nick Underhill, and I'm only using his tweet because this is the tweet that I saw and I was looking back on and I was like, oh my goodness, how is this? I had to just show this. So no, not a knock on Underhill. I love Underhill and I love his work, but DA saying that the decision to go with Andy Dalton is a quote offensive decision, says they're going to continue with what they're doing with Dalton. DA says Jameis is healthy. This is about performance. However, here is what was tweeted yesterday. Dennis Allen said
later.
Yeah. Dennis Allen said that Jameis Winston isn't 100% healthy and he doesn't know if he will be. And I'm sure you have similar thoughts on this, but I get he might not be healthy. I understand that. But then why was he saying he was healthy and that it's an offensive decision? That's where my whole thing gets frustrating. And I don't understand what the hell the Saints fans are supposed to expect. I mean, I don't know, man. What do you kind of think on this?
I think it's a case of flip-flopping. It's like he says one thing, and then he says another thing not too long after the fact. I feel like it's DA kind of trying to cover his tracks a little bit and be like, I know all of you are mad at me for not starting Jameis, but he isn't 100% healthy. This feels like an excuse to me that he's starting Andy Dalton. So for him to say that doesn't feel like a vote of confidence for Andy Dalton, to be honest with you. It feels like he knows that James is the better option. For some reason, he keeps throwing Dalton out there. It really makes no sense to me.
Yeah, and I wish you guys could have seen what was going on in the studio yesterday. The Schefter tweet or the announcement, Andy Dalton starting, I literally holding my phone, drop it, hands, I go right into here. I'm like, I get it. Maybe Jameis Winston isn't
Trace,
healthy.
I told you, Andy Dalton's just not the guy.
No, he's not.
He's never been the guy.
He is a backup, and I will go back on what I said early in this offseason. I liked it. He is the guy who holds the clipboard. And you know what? If you need him to come in a pinch, he'll do just good enough.
He cannot be a starter.
That's all he is hold a clipboard guy. It's the consistency and clarity is such a problem, man. Is it too much to ask to get answers and to get consistent answers and consistently correct answers? There's been no information on medical staff. We're finally getting information on Marshawn Lattimore's injury. We're finally getting stuff Michael Thomas. Don't even get me started with his injury stuff. It's just it feels like this staff this season has had a horrible issue with just getting stuff wrong or not giving incorrect information. And I don't get it. I don't understand. I mean, I'm frustrated. I'm sure you're frustrated, man.
It's very frustrating. And if you're a Saints fan right now, you don't have a head coach. You don't have a quarterback. There's no sense of direction with the franchise.
No first-round draft pick. So even if you were tanking, there's nothing to tank for. It's a joke.
Eagles are going to have a top 5 pick, right? Eagles might win the Super Bowl and have a top 5 pick. Rate Dennis Allen as a head coach. Scale it 1 to 100 down in the comment section. Go down. Let me know what you think about DA. We've given you our thoughts about DA. If I'm giving him a grade, it's definitely an F- for this season. You come in with all these expectations. And you know what? Here's my take on this. How many times has a head coach been fired in their first gig, gotten a second gig, and it's worked out? It's never happened. It just doesn't happen.
The one light, I guess, of this is he got a shutout against the Raiders. Congrats, you lost to a team that lost to Jeff, or you shut out a team that lost to Jeff Saturday.
Right.
I guess that's an
Beating the Raiders
accomplishment.
is
Come
not
on,
an
man.
accomplishment. Yeah, exactly.
Chris Olave is and Rashid Shaheed. Those are the two good things that Dennis Allen has done.
Like we said yesterday, Drew Brees could be a better head coach than Dennis Allen. Jeff Saturday can beat. He can win a game. He can beat Las Vegas. I don't know.
Daniels, it's such a joke. And I just don't understand. If Jameis Winston isn't healthy like he just is now saying, why has he not been on the injury report?
Something's fishy, Trace.
I don't get it, man. Look at
fishy.
the injury report from this week. This is for this week, from Wednesday. Josh Andrews, Marcus Davenport, JT Gray, James Hurst, Mark Ingram. all did not participate. Cam Jordan did not participate. Jarvis Landry, limited. Marshawn Lattimore did not participate. Looks like he might not even be back this season, which stinks, man. That sucks. Marcus May, abdomen, limited participant. Andrews P. And then but wait, Billy Mays, there's more. There's 3 more. Ryan Ramczyk, Malcolm Roach, Pete Werner. Where's Jameis? If he's hurt, where's Jameis?
I have no words.
I'm trying to not get overreact and get into it, but it's just like, oh my goodness, like, it sucks. Like these are all injuries that are notable, and we got to keep an eye on. But like, what? And then we do have an injury update. We do have information on Pete Werner because he got hurt last week, and then with an ankle injury, he actually had surgery. He's ahead of schedule on his recovery. Could possibly return this season, which is pretty good. He was a dog. I mean, Will.
Yeah, he's good.
Will, let's not forget
This guy
was leading
well
the Saints with. Yeah, he's leading the Saints with tackles for a while. I mean, 74 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, 3 PBU, 2 forced fumbles. I mean, let's remember, you and I were talking about should they bring back Quan Alexander? Who's going to replace him? Who's going to replace Quan on the linebacker core next to Demario Davis? And Pete Werner, like, let's not act like he hasn't done anything. He's done solid, and I mean, that's an update. You got to keep that in mind. You got to keep that updated. So there you go.
Yeah.
That's the update on him.
Pete Werner, hopefully he comes back. He was having a great season.
Absolutely.
But guys, we bring you guys Saints injury news, coaching rumors, and more. Almost to 10,000 subscribers. Go down, subscribe to the channel, help us get there. What's the goal? By the end of next week, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, man, let's get there by the end of next week for sure.
Do it.
Like, we got to make it happen. We got to make it happen.
Big milestone here at Chat Sports. Help us get there. Go down, subscribe to the channel. Let's talk about the Saints running backs now. Mark Ingram injured currently. Got Kamara. You got Dwayne Washington. And, you picked up David Johnson yesterday. It'll be interesting to see maybe if he gets called up to the active roster here. But what do you think should be a priority this offseason, Trace?
This might be a weird one, but I think running back depth. Obviously, quarterback is your number 1 priority. I think that's a fact. There's no doubt in my mind.
Hendon Hooker, bring him to the boot.
Yep. I mean, you got to just, dude, give me a Hendon Hooker, give me a Grayson McCall, give me somebody in the draft like late. I mean, dude, I don't care, man. I don't care. Just get a quarterback. But running back depth should also be something that the Saints go after because let's not forget, Kamara still has to potentially face a suspension next season. So, of course, due to the altercation that happened during the Pro Bowl in Vegas. But, I mean, guys, the running back depth chart is tiny. Mark Ingram is old. Like, I love Marky Mark. Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch, they're a great group of guys. But, like, he's
getting up there.
Exactly. Like, you got to eventually move on and do your thing. You got to start doing things to win for the future. You gotta get some Dwayne Washington. They clearly aren't doing a ton with him. So come on, let's get somebody in here this offseason. So I want to ask the Who Dat Nation.
Yeah.
Name somebody who you want to add.
That you want to sign this offseason. Some notable names that are free agents that we're going to talk about in a second. Go down, let us know what running back you want to add this offseason. I think a lot of y'all are going to be saying Saquon Barkley. What a season that he's been having, Trace.
Oh,
he's looking like the Saquon of old. Nearly 1,000 yards already, 6 touchdowns. Kind of a sleeper here for Offensive Player of the Year.
Oh, absolutely. And, honestly, comeback Player of the Year, too.
Yeah.
He's been doing, there was a big argument of, is Saquon still that guy? Is he still the dog that he once was his first year or his first 2 years or whatever? And it's proved that you get a quality coach around him, you get quality players around him. He can do things. He can make things happen. And then his receiving stats: 29 receptions, 197 yards, almost 7 yards per catch. He's a pass catching threat. Could replace Alvin Kamara while he's on suspension.
And I'm not trying to discredit Daniel Jones.
No.
The Giants are not 7-2 because of their quarterback.
No, absolutely
They're
not.
7-2 in large part due to Saquon Barkley, the season that he's been having. I picked the Giants. Marshall Green lets me hear it every day, the host of the Giants channel here at Chat Sports. I thought the Giants were going to win 4 games this year.
Yeah, I think
everybody did.
I think we all did. Yeah. I don't think there was a massive expectation for the Giants, and yet Saquon Barkley has been a big reason for the Giants' success. And so his 2022 average annual value is about $7.8 million this season. So I don't know if you would be able to get him for a lot less than that for a contract. He's going to be a free agent next offseason.
And he's coming off his rookie deal.
Exactly, and so you gotta kind of keep that in mind if you wanna make something work like that. But at the end of the day, I also think that he would be a pretty solid pickup, and he would be a long-term guy. It's just a matter. I don't think the Giants are going to let him go, man. I really doubt it. I really
can't afford to.
No,
they literally might pay him north of $10 million a year.
Oh, 100%.
Keep him. We'll see what happens. Guys, you can bet on the Saints, which you might not want to do right now with how they've been struggling, but you can bet against the Saints too. JotSports.com/bet. Promo code chat125 to pick up a 125% deposit bonus. Believe it or not, the Saints are the favorite against the Rams this weekend in New Orleans. 3.5-point favorites are the Saints. The total is at 39. So, 2 underachieving teams here, so the total not going to be too high. But let me know, who do you got? Do you got the Saints or do you have the Rams? Type S or type R down in the comments section. Shifting gears now to Miles Sanders and Tony Pollard. Just kind of your thoughts on those two guys, Trace.
I mean, man, Miles Sanders.
He would fit in well with the Saints offense.
Oh, yeah. Miles Sanders, let's talk about a guy who's popped off this year. I mean, last year he didn't have a single touchdown. But this year, 143 carries, little over 700 yards, 6 touchdowns, 5 yards a carry. And then on top of that, he also has 11 receptions, 42 yards, just under 4 yards per catch. Not bad. I mean, he's really stepped up, and the Eagles' offense is one of the most, I would say, electric and exciting ones in the NFC, at least, right now. And Miles Sanders is a big part of that. Obviously, they have the weapons with A.J. Brown and with Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert and Jalen Hurts, all those guys. But Miles Sanders is a dog. And I think that he's one of those guys you might be able to get for kind of cheap. I don't know. But, like, in terms of where his contract is right now, he's at 1.3 average for this season. And I mean, for Tony Pollard, I mean, that's not bad. You could get it for cheap. Tony Pollard, on the other hand, do the Cowboys roll with him? Do they roll with Zeke? Who's the long-term guy? I personally think Tony Pollard's a better running back. He's a free agent. That's why we're this offseason. That's why we're talking about him. Could the Saints go and snag him?
Yeah.
I don't know. He's cheap.
I don't hate it.
He's pretty cheap. You can make it happen. I don't know, man.
He's very underrated. He's
yeah, 100%.
One of the more underrated guys in all of football at the running back position. And Josh Jacobs, the Raiders haven't been having a good season, but he's been having a pretty good season with his in his last year of his contract, 821 yards, 7 touchdowns, averaging 5.2 yards per carry. I didn't really understand the criticism with this guy coming into this season, but he certainly silenced those critics.
Oh, absolutely. And with the Raiders' offense being about as abysmal as it is, and the team being about as much of a dumpster fire as a team could be this season, Josh Jacobs has been one of the few consistent lights on that is trying to get to an end of a tunnel, I guess. And I mean, part of it is also his pass catching ability. I know I keep talking about it, but I'm a big, if you can run and you can catch the ball, you have significantly more value and the offense is way more dynamic and you can do a lot more. But his pass catching this season, 31 receptions, 200 yards, 6.5 yards a catch. Not bad. I really like those numbers. I think that all four of these guys would be solid Alvin Kamara replacements if he gets suspended, while he serves that suspension if he does get suspended.
Right.
But are any of these guys realistic as like an RB2? That's my big thing, is I'm not sure exactly what that looks like. But let's be real, a lot of teams don't want to pay running backs top dollar and stuff. And so if you ask me, some of these guys might want to just go to where they get a good check and they get the opportunity to make a check and, hate to say it, use it as a stepping stone to get to your next contract, as bad as it sounds. But the Saints are not in a position to be winning a lot of games right now. So got to do what you got to do.
Guys, go down, pick a running back you want to sign. Here are some of the top 4 free agents. Type SB for Saquon, MS for Miles Sanders, JJ for Josh Jacobs, or TP for Tony Pollard.